There are moments in a person's life that arrive without warning. Not slowly, not kindly. They arrive at 7 in the morning in a car that costs more than your debt, with a contract in one hand and a pen in the other. And they stand in the doorway of the only thing left in the world that still belongs to you. His name is Nikolai Ashford. He has spent 10 years trying to dismantle everything I built. And today, he is standing in my grandmother's foyer with a deed to my childhood home. Fully cleared, all debts settled. The price? My signature. And 12 pages of fine print designed to make sure I never make another decision without him. My name is Serena Whitmore. I am 36 years old. I run a firm I built from nothing. One client, a studio apartment, a laptop that overheated twice a week. I have been described in print as formidable. I have never once asked anyone for help. And the man standing in my doorway knows all of this, which is exactly why he's here. I grew up in Whitmore Estate, not as a guest, as the girl who knew every creak in every floorboard, who knew the light in the library at 4 in the afternoon turned everything gold. The books, the dust, the air itself. When my parents passed, they left me 2 things: the house and the debt that came with it. I spent 8 years trying to save both. A company built from one client in a studio apartment. No sleep, no weekends, no help from anyone. I did not ask for help. Remember that. Nikolai Ashford, 41, self-made before 30. A man who enters a room and immediately becomes the geometry of it. Everything else rearranges around him, whether it wants to or not. We met 10 years ago at an industry summit. I disagreed with him in front of 70 people who had never once done it. I didn't know it was a mistake. I thought it was Tuesday. The war that followed lasted a decade. 3 partnerships dismantled. Investors who vanished after a single phone call from him. 6 months of legal paralysis I blamed entirely on his interference. Every move, careful. Every attack, precise. He never broke the law. He never left a mark anyone could see. He was just always there, in the way, costing me something. And yet, there is one thing I have never told anyone. 4 years into the war, a conference in Edinburgh. It ran 3 hours over. By the time it ended, the rain was coming down hard, and the car the organizers had arranged was already waiting. One car, because someone had made an assumption about the guest list that turned out to be wrong. His assistant offered to call another. Nikolai looked at me. I looked at him. "It's fine," I said, because I was not going to be the one who blinked. So we got in. Both of us in the back seat. In the dark, in the rain, with the kind of silence that has too much inside it to be comfortable. We were both on our phones, performing busyness, not speaking. The car took a sharp turn on a wet road, and I slid on the leather seat. Just slightly, just for a second, my shoulder hitting his arm. He steadied me. One hand on my arm, there and gone, before either of us registered it had happened. We both went back to our phones. Neither of us said a word. And then, A few minutes later, he said, almost to himself, eyes still on his phone, 40 minutes on disruption and innovation from a man who still prints his emails. I heard it. I tried not to smile. I failed. And before I could stop myself, I said, "Tell me about it." 2 words. That was all. He looked up from his phone. And he smiled. Not the controlled boardroom kind, a real one. Small and quick. There and almost gone before it fully arrived. I looked back at mine. The rain kept coming. The city passed wet and dark outside the window. We didn't speak again for the rest of the ride. We got out at the hotel. We went to our separate floors. We never mentioned it. Not once. Not ever. But I didn't expect to see that side of him. And I did. And now he was standing in my foyer with a contract he called a lifeline. The foreclosure auction was in 72 hours. I had run out of options. Or so I thought. I read the contract. All 12 pages. 3 times. Page 1. All debts cleared within 48 hours. The estate restored. Page 4. Every business decision above $10,000 required his written approval. Page 7. Breach of any clause meant forfeiture of the estate and my company. Both. And then, page 9. Subsection C, line 4. A proximity requirement. Quarterly reviews, location at his discretion. In perpetuity. I called my attorney. She said 4 words. That's a residency covenant. He hadn't written a business contract. He had written a binding legal relationship and buried it on page 9 in a font 2 sizes smaller than the rest. I walked out to the garden where he was standing by the oak tree. And I said, "I found page 9. And he turned and said, "I know." "I put it there because I needed you to find it," he said. "Because I needed you to know this contract is not a cage. It has a door. I built the door myself. I told him I needed 7 days. I'll wait," he said. And he left. I walked back inside. To the library. To the 4 o'clock light. To my father's desk and his chair and the particular quiet of a room that has held every important decision this family has ever made. The contract was still there. The pen beside it. His pen. The one he had left without asking. I sat down. And I thought about a cage. And I thought about a door. And I thought about the difference between a man who traps you and a man who hands you the key before you even ask for it. The auction was in 72 hours. I had 7 days. And the pen was right there. Come back next week. Because I made a decision. And it was not the one you think.